I remember as a kid watching Home Alone 2, yes, the best one, and being absolutely mesmerized by New York at Christmas, a city that's been romanticized numerous times in the movies we all watched. Well, after 30-something odd years, we finally got around to spending a Christmas in New York. Of course, it wasn't always going to be the same kind of New York Kevin McAllister experienced, from the jump scares in the subways to the organized chaos that is Times Square. You quickly come to realize that it is all part of the city's charm. I guess a good place to start is the Rockefeller, pretty much a central hub to all the festivities in Manhattan, and definitely one of the busiest, so we were very pleased with ourselves being able to beat the crowds. In front of the Rockefeller Centre, and it is chock-a-block here. We managed to take one or two photos, but as you can see, this time of year is quite popular because of the Christmas tree.
What do we have planned for today?
We're meant to be going to Central Park, walking around and seeing all the greenery, if there's anything left, because it snowed a couple of days ago. But I think the majority of it is having a bit of an easy day. Yesterday was spent going to Hudson Yards, going to the top of the Rockefeller Centre here, actually.
Good observatory.
Yeah, I think it was more of a day of adjustment, just to get our bearings, whereas now we're getting into the actual exploring of New York as it is. So, yeah.
And we also did Stranger Things.
We did
Stranger.
Oh yeah, we did.
Which was,
everything kind of just merges into
really
one. But
amazing.
Yeah, really, really good, really good. But
exactly.
We'll catch up with you guys at our next location, where a lot of people aren't getting upset with us for blocking the way.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
The Rockefeller is probably one of the best kickoff points for tourists in Manhattan. You pretty much get a 3-for-1 special with seeing the famous Christmas tree, ice skating, and going right to the top for what I think is the best 360 skyline view of Manhattan.
Suddenly in short supply, which is when businessman John D. Rockefeller Jr. has a flash of inspiration.
The views are pretty much unobstructed up here, with pathways all around the observation deck. I guess this is a good time to mention that we booked a lot of the tourist activities beforehand, especially considering we were visiting at this time of year. The earlier the better, of course, because we were pleasantly surprised how quiet a lot of the key attractions were before midday. We were out of our hotel room by 8 most days, and other than the weekend, it felt like you could get walk-in tickets for most things, leaving us more than enough time to take as many photos without anyone else in the way. We just had to figure out how to use the binocular viewers. Fun fact, most of these viewers are leased by one company, if you were ever wondering why they look almost identical to the ones in the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls, Golden Gate Bridge. Talk about monopoly. If you're feeling daring enough, you could also try out the beam, simulating the famous launch atop a skyscraper photo from the 1930s, and the skylift, which gives you even better panoramic views. If you visit during the winter months, remember to wrap up warm because it can get painfully cold. But honestly, if there's one rooftop attraction you try out whilst in New York, with the least amount of gimmicks, get yourself to the top of the rock. As you make your way through the tourist-filled streets of Manhattan, the feeling is less that of being overwhelmed because, let's face it, if you're coming to New York at this time of year, you more than likely know what you're in for. I'd like to think that most of us here share the same festive spirit, whether it's simply moving along with the crowds, staring at all the decorations, or queuing for the biggest ticket shows on at Christmas. From the Rockettes at Radio City Hall to your Broadway shows. Just remember to book ahead for the more popular shows, so most of your time is spent exploring instead of queuing, like going to see every Christmas tree in foyers like the Empire State Building. Or better yet, visiting the Grand Central Station, with the main concourse filled with commuters and tourists. There's also a holiday fair worth visiting, with various independent arts and crafts shops. Our favourite being the simple but clever hand-stitched paper goods that created art pieces from hand-stitching famous landmarks. Speaking of landmarks, anyway.
No, this is the avenue, that's the street. So anyway, I can't see it now, guys.
Yeah, one of the main shopping areas, but we're just still exploring. Slightly colder than usual.
Expected, yeah.
and I'm
Because it's
just
supposed to
sniffing.
be 9 degrees, but it doesn't. It feels.
Yeah, it feels much colder.
Way less.
I think it's a wind chill, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a nice bus in the way now, so as it moves out of the way, you should be able to see the LV building, which doesn't look like much of a building. It's like a giant stack of suitcases.
I'm trying to see if there's a door, but there is a door, I think, on the side.
I know. And the next
But-
question is, where are the windows? Excuse me, madam. What are your thoughts on Trump?
Don't ask me that.
As soon as you step foot in that place, I see you're gonna tackle me down and ask, if I've got any papers. And I'm sure police are probably looking at us like we're reporters talking about Trump, but no.
Okay.
Anyway, it's New York. They don't like the motherfucker.
Bye. We
Goodbye.
won't go into politics.
No politics. Okay, bye. Tash was taking a lot of it in, especially with this being her first time in Times Square. Whether you love or hate it, there's no denying that it is an attack on the senses. The sheer amount of giant digital billboards and bright lights make it one of the most visible locations in the world, even from space. Might explain the millions of dollars it costs to put up ads, and since Times Square sits in the middle of the Broadway theatre district, it serves as a menu displaying what's on at the theatres. I would probably recommend booking some of the shows in advance, especially if it rhymes with lion and king. But sometimes you can get good discount ticket prices on the day of the shows like we did. I don't know if the music is enough of a giveaway, but it was a nice touch whilst the seats filled up for what I would consider is one of the best productions I've seen on stage. And it wasn't my first choice when we were scrambling for any last minute tickets. Yep, Stranger Things, just right before the final season aired. Let's just say that the first scene alone had us all hooked, like you were really part of the scene. And I'll say it again, best visual production I've seen live on stage so far. The pigeon, a modern symbol of the city and average New Yorkers. Busy, persistent, and always navigating crowds. Something you would naturally adjust to whilst having to get to every corner of the city worth exploring. In this case, it meant a nice long walk from Midtown through Hell's Kitchen, with the beautiful sounds of the sirens making you feel right at home. Well, as modern as New York is as a city, what's even more modern is the city within a city that is Hudson's Yard. Famous for landmarks like the Vessel, but more impressively how most of this district is built over existing rail lines that still operate below these skyscrapers. I was more interested in the Vessel though, a striking sculpture made out of staircases, but we were fine not going up it after all the walking we've done so far. Oh yeah, not forgetting the dinosaur. No, that's what it's actually called. The 16-foot hyper-realistic pigeon sculpture putting the symbol of the city on a pedestal. Also a play on the fact that birds evolved from dinosaurs. At this point, nothing should really surprise you in the dramatic city that is New York. Okay, slightly sniffly, but we made it to Central Park. So this is the main thing we're going to be doing day 2, and yeah, we have a lot of ground to cover. I've been here before, but I haven't done the full. I haven't done the full thing. So
I think we'll try and do the Natural History Museum maybe.
yeah, I mean
Or
we're
the
gonna do half of it, well, or a third of it, as much as we can, and then do stops along the way because yeah, by the time we get to the end of Central Park, it's going to be like
Yeah,
later
it's
today.
not-
It's yeah.
And I really want to try that Ralph Lauren coffee shop. So I think that's somewhere in the middle. So
Yeah.
that'll be a good breaking point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, come along and let's see how we get on, isn't it?
Another thing is it's cold as fuck down here because you've got all these tall buildings and it kind of sits in the shade a little bit. Well, the entrance of it
Well,
does.
I think even though there's not that much snow,
Mm.
there's a lot of ice, and we're
Mm.
wearing like our sambas, and we're like treading and trying to be a little bit careful. But yeah,
I found my love in Avalon beside the bay. I left my love in Avalon.
I'm just looking on the map. I think we're not even a quarter up. If this is the whole of Central Park, we're literally there.
Just at the start. And also, shout out to Thaddeus at the visitor center because he literally gave us a nice overview of what to do, what to see in the park, where to go, how long it takes, where we can stop for food breaks, toilet breaks. Fantastic, honestly.
John Wick was filmed here, but not Friends. People think Friends. Now this gives you an option where you want to go. A good way to know that's south.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around, where am I? This is the
To Avalon.
Whilst it may not have looked like the winter wonderland we were hoping for at Christmas, because it snowed just the weekend before we arrived, there was still some festive spirit in the air. From the rickshaws ferrying around tourists, to the couples grinning ear to ear simply because they're in New York. And whilst one of the three wise men starts his journey to the manger, Santa takes a well-earned break between shifts. As if by magic, the geese begin to walk on water, as the rest of us walk over water. There does come a point in time when someone is overwalking, but at least we can say we've made it through most of New York.